Hi, it's Jasmin. You know, that girl who did you know what way before the internet ever existed. Join me and my special guest every week as we talk about anything and everything because nothing is too taboo. So punch your ticket and get on board the Krazy Train with me, Jasmin St. All aboard! You know what day of the week it is and what time it is. It's time for a new episode of Krazy Train with moi. This week's guest is someone who I didn't know was a huge fan, and we had so much in common. She was a lot of fun to talk to. The conversation went slightly off the rails because, there are some controversial things, talked about in this episode, such as the gentleman friends, her, intro into the adult film business, and so forth. Scamming and jamming, which you'll later on learn what that is, but stay tuned. And here is Miss Ava Devine. You're here. I'm so excited.
Yes.
We can shimmy.
Oh my God. Shimmy, baby.
That's it. What size are your boobs?
Okay, so I know the CCs. I don't know the cup size technically because I fit into many different bras, but I'm 2680 cc's. Yes. And of course I want to go bigger, but yeah. But I think I'm like a 38 triple H. Yeah, and I like to, I could be a 36, but I don't like my bras that tight, the band. I like a little wiggle room, so I would say 38 triple H.
38, but we don't call it wiggle room. We're going to call it shimmy room because I finally learned
that. Oh, yes. I like that. Shimmy, Jasmin.
What is it like going in the street or to the beach? I've never asked girls this before who came to the club I was dancing at years and years ago. And you had like Minka, girls like Kimberly Cups. You can't ask
Pandora Peak.
What happens to you in the the beach besides people staring?
Yes. Well, people do stare. Some are rude. Some are, kind. Some giggle. For me, I feel like any attention is positive attention. So whatever, and the good news is I can't really see that far away. I'm nearsighted, so which helps. And usually I'm in my own bubble, so I don't really care, but I don't mind. And of course they're going to look, and you know what? That's what they're intended to do. That's why I got them so big. I want people to look. I want the attention.
Yeah, and nothing is wrong with that. I just think it's funny when you have these younger girls that are like saying things about implants. It's like, bitch, you know nothing about this.
Yes.
And I think it's affected our younger men today because they don't like implants for some reason. Or at least the ones I talk to don't like them.
Well, see, for me, since I'm so enhanced, my butt and my breasts, I get a lot of fans that are very positive about enhancements. So I do get the crowd that loves that, the fan base that loves that. But I do see, some fans that they don't like it. They think it's abnormal. They think it's too much, or, or they just want natural, whatever. Yeah. But different strokes for different folks, right?
Dude, natural is boring.
So boring. It's so easy to be natural.
Everyone's natural. I had my boobs reduced.
Oh, did you?
Yes, 36 double D. Now I'm like down to a 36C.
Okay.
It's bigger because I'm like 108 pounds, but
yes.
That's the whole point. You want your butt bigger than your boobs. I don't know if that's possible with you though, because if you keep getting bigger, yeah. So I want to go bigger again.
Do you? I welcome it. I think that's great, but you are gorgeous regardless. So
are you. And
Thank
I think
you.
It's so cool you're from Long Island. What part of Long Island are you from?
Suffolk County, Coram.
Which town?
It's called Coram. It's by Port Jefferson or Smith County. Yeah, it's over there, way over there. But you're from New York as well. I think you graduated from some school in Brooklyn. Is that correct?
Okay, I went to grade school and high school at Brooklyn Friends School. And I was at the Lycée Français before that, Montessori school. Then I graduated from Columbia University.
Good for you.
Now I know Port Jeff, and I know
Yeah.
Smithtown. My good friend lives
Yes.
in Smithtown. I love it. It's like a small town with like American flags everywhere and just a farmer's market, cute
Yes.
guys,
Oh, totally.
motorcycles.
Yes. Well, for me, when I was living there, it was a lot of IROCs and hot men.
Oh, the Guidos were outside?
Yeah, Guidos
Oh
everywhere.
my God. I love Guidos.
Oh, of course.
I love it. Oh my God. So that they're probably like all over you because they always like the dark featured girl.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, but yeah.
Growing up, not that we've really grown up, have we? What did you want to do with yourself when you grew up? Like, what were your initial goals?
Well, believe it or not, I was like, when I remember I was like 5 years old or something, and my cousin said, "What would you like to be when you get older?" And I said, "What's the sexiest thing you could be?" I don't know where I picked that up, where I learned it. And they were like a Playboy model, a Playboy bunny. And I said, "That's what I want to be." But I went a little bit further than that, and I did hardcore porn and escort, and I did everything that you could possibly do in the sex industry. And I
And
love
nothing's
it.
wrong with that. Yeah, nothing's wrong with that because
No,
everyone
I'm
like
totally made for it.
Playboy.
Yeah.
Playboy. I mean, it's like Playboy is Playboy. That was soft. But
Yeah.
wait, were you watching porn?
Not when I was 5, but I'd watch a lot of soap operas. And I think I saw like a lot of bikini models and back in the 70s, 80s, it was a lot of uh bikini models and a lot like beer commercials, and everything was like very sexualized, and everything was a lot of tits and ass, and I was drawn to that. So I just looked up to all the beautiful women.
That's so weird. I
That,
wanted to be a Bud Light girl. I wanted to be in Penthouse when I was a
yes.
kid. See what I mean? It's something in the air
Yes.
and that you wait, when's your birthday? What day is your birthday?
Okay, it's January 22nd.
Okay, no, I'm October 23rd. I was thinking maybe it's an astrological
Yeah.
thing. That's so wild. So I got to get into this. Like, I know we talked about it before. Escorting. So not many people know this. I worked as a high-end escort girl briefly, but very, very under the radar. But I
Yes.
got fired. I wasn't doing my job. So, well, I mean, I was meeting with the person, right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
I'll meet with you. You could talk to me, but doesn't mean I'm going to do anything. And
Yeah.
I put something, someone, what year is it now? Oh yeah, statute of limitations are gone. So this jackass was in Irvine at the Marriott with me. And I put something in his drink just so he'd go to sleep and just stop touching me and like stop bothering me. Then I left him in his room. So he was sleeping. He already gave me money.
Yeah.
I called his wife though.
You're kidding me, Jasmin.
Because she kept calling his phone. I had to answer it.
Okay, let's hear this.
I'm like, yeah. She's like, who's this? I said, I don't know. Who's this? Well, I'm his wife. Okay. I said, well, you might want to come pick your husband up. Where is he? Oh, we're at the Marriott in Irvine. Well, what's he doing there with you? Well, I don't know. Why don't you ask him yourself? And I hung up. So he stopped calling me, really. So it's like to be outside with a buffoon you need 5 harpoons for is embarrassing. God. Ugh.
Oh, see, that's hilarious. I actually loved it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm so nuts, Jasmin. I would like walk hand in hand with whoever, however old. I loved it. I loved all my clients. I loved escorting. I loved seeing them. I loved, because, I was super, super horny always, all my life. And I love, like a lot of my girlfriends years ago, it was called Scam and Jam. And they would take the money and they would run out of the room with it. And I was like, why are we doing this? Because I'd have to do it because they would leave me there, so I'd have to follow their, like run away with them. And I asked my girlfriend, I said, wait, I'm like, why don't we just get these guys off? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, from now on, let's do that. Because we'd always go as a couple, as a pair, because she was a blonde, I was a brunette Asian. So the escort service would always send us that way. And ever since then, it was just like so much fun.
That's kind of cute. Like I made friends with one guy. He's dead now, not because of me, by the way. Yeah, but we maintained friendships. It's like I'm still friends with a couple of these guys. One is this big time real estate mogul in New York City, but he was actually really hot. So we ended up doing it. Oh my God.
Good, Jasmin.
Right. Yeah, finally. Good, Jasmin. He had such a huge cock, but he was like the ideal boyfriend, right? Like he's cool. The other one, we were just friends. Like he taught me so much about wine tasting. Other one taught me about real estate, but that's like the way those, I don't know what, actually I should message him and see how he's doing, but I would never do it now.
Do it. Message him. Say hello.
Yeah.
Check in. That would be nice. Yeah.
With the dead guy? No.
No. Well, you could try it.
Well, actually, I promised him one thing, and that was the odd conversation. I always promised him I would write a letter of recommendation to Columbia University for his daughter. He was dead already. So it's like, how, I met her many times. And so how do I present this? So I reached out to her on Facebook. She remembered me. I'm like, do you still need a letter? Well, yeah, that'd be wonderful. We just can't tell my mom. So I just like let her, well, were you one of his girlfriends? I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's, I mean, do you think it's more of an emotional thing for these men, or do you think it's more, you know, a physical thing, or both?
Well, honestly, I think it's more of a mental thing. Like I've always said, I feel like sex is like, I would say 90% of mental stimulation, because it's like for me, I feel like anyone can bounce on a dick, you know, anyone could jerk a cock off, but it's like, I want to go there with you. I want to have this like connection where you can drop your inhibitions and you and I are like right there together. And I want to understand what makes you tick. I want to understand what makes you excited. I want to understand what you like. Even like if you're uncomfortable admitting to it, I want you to open up. And I feel like that for me is like sexual chemistry and hot and exciting, is like fucking you mentally. I just love that.
You know what? It sounds easier than said, people. So guys out there thinking that, you know, well, she likes to fuck with you mentally in a good way. I do it in a very evil way. It's two different ways we do it.
That's hilarious. That's okay.
It's fun. But now the scam and jam, is that what I was doing basically?
Well, I don't know if, because you hung out with them. Like the point was, this is what the girls would do. They would get the money, and they would say, okay, I'm going to use the restroom to go change, undress, and then they would take off.
Are you kidding me? You're supposed to give the guy NyQuil or some shit. Like, what is it with these girls? You put NyQuil in the drink, okay? And that's
so bad.
Dude, there's so many things. There's this one guy who was like 80 fucking years old. Nothing ever happened, of course. Then he thought he had some serious, like, exotic imagination and thoughts in his brain. Oh, well, you know, I got the needles. I got it in the bathroom here. If you help me. I'm like, sure, no problem. I'm looking for bacteria stat water at that point, because I knew enough about it. I'm like, we just put it back. I just drained everything of the treatment out into the sink and just refilled it back, all with bacteria stat water.
No, so you were he wanted you to inject his dick. Is that correct?
Yeah, but it didn't work. Obviously, well, I told him I was afraid of needles.
With water, yeah.
Well, I'm afraid of needles. I told him. I said, "Go get yourself." Then, like, I kept like doing some, kept fucking with the clock, and I'm like the worst. I'm the worst whore. I gotta say the word. I'm a bad whore who deserves a spanking for being a bad girl. I've been very bad escort.
Yeah.
Did you have your own agency? Huh?
Yeah, I said, you're great. I said, I did have some agencies. I did independently. And so it was a little bit of combination.
I think it should be legalized, because guys are going to get it anywhere. As long as you have like the testing done.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I think it should be legal anywhere that people go, because it makes it a lot safer.
It does. It really does. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really sure what my opinion is on that. I mean, there's pros and cons to each. It's like, I don't know. I do feel there's more pros, because then no one's under the radar, or nobody can really do anything scandalous to you, you know, or scary. So like some clients I've heard robbed a few of my girlfriends, you know, like, yeah, they would she would knock on they would knock on her door in her hotel room, and they'd have friends waiting outside, and
Oh
yeah.
my God,
So
that's horrible.
yeah, so so that's like the con of it not being legal, is that it could be dangerous.
Yeah, I guess it's just vetting them because the person I worked for had like a way to run a background check
Yes.
and then you see who you're dealing with. But I do
Yeah.
remember poking, like, open up the the keyhole and just looking outside. I'm like, no.
You're
I'm like,
so bad. You
dude,
were so bad. Yeah. See, for
can you
me, it's
blame
so
me?
well, you know what? I'm so weird, Jasmine. I think everyone's hot. Like, I could find beauty in anything and anyone. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. I'm just something sparks in me, and I'm like, God, that person. It could be their lashes, it could be their lips, it could be the way they speak, it could be all the yeah. So I'm like, I think I make a really great horror.
I like the lashes. I don't know what makes a man's lashes attractive. You have beautiful lashes.
No, they're false, but thank you. But who cares, right? They're
So
great.
with Well, yeah, they're gorgeous. I mean, you're gorgeous, but with escorting, it's private. Like you don't have cameras on or anything like that. So you're
Very
in
true.
this whole world of, making gentleman friends, as I call them. I call
Yes.
them at this age the diabetic friends
Yeah. Where did you get that term from? Tell me.
because they're sugar daddies.
You're hilarious.
They're diabetic friends. So if I ever tell a friend of mine, hey, I'm making my rounds, I'm seeing diabetic friends today. These are the much older ones that I knew from a while ago that still take me to lunch or dinner now and
That's
again. Nothing ever goes
sweet.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, bless their souls. I'm not gonna like drug them now. They'll
Yeah.
probably die or something. That's my
Yeah.
fault. So, or give them a bunch of sugar or just like give them a bunch of booze or something. Well, maybe, but yeah. So
You got to see that movie, The Hustler, with Jennifer Lopez.
I don't like her. I
You don't
really
like
don't.
her?
I
Well,
never did. I liked her in Made in Manhattan. What is it with that
okay.
movie?
Well, the movie is a true story. It's about her and her girlfriends that worked at a strip club that would drug the clients and get money from them. They would like steal their credit card though and like take money out. But yeah, so but it was like many years ago in New York at a strip club. I'm not sure what the strip club was, but yeah, it's a great movie. Cardi B's in it. J Lo did a great job. It's pretty. You'll just watch it just for the sake of it, for the
I
story.
lived it. I don't think we have to.
Yes.
Here's what we
Yeah.
used to do. So what we would do is say the guy was really fucked up, like really messed up. We'd go into the champagne room, the private lounge. So there's this white slip you have to sign, not the credit card slip, but just one
Yeah.
authorizing over $1,000. So I think this is basically saved me a spot in hell. I would lift up the guy's arm with the pen. I'd be like, come on, baby, just sign it. And just sign and sign and sign. And then that's it. Then it's signed. I wasn't doing the credit card thing, but that's how we'd sign it. Oh, it's time to tip. Come on, give her $1,000. Give the
Yeah.
champagne hostess 500. Yeah. So
Well,
I am
you are
more accomplished.
irresistible.
It was cute, kind
Yes.
of.
Of
So
course, they loves you. Of course, they're like whatever you say.
they're drunk. The whole key is to get the customer drunk, girls. Any ladies listening out there, because I know you do, get the guy drunk. When you get the drink from the champagne hostess, make sure you have a keyword ahead of time, like for a Smurf. That's a drink.
Keyword.
Yeah, it's blue. But you always make sure you get the less alcohol or a non-alcoholic beverage, but never tell the guy. They got to think they're having a good time. Even if you have to smash up Tylenol in a napkin and tell them it's cocaine, just do it. It's Jasmine Hustle 101. So why would you have gotten into porn if you have like that whole privacy there, right? What made you decide to do porn?
Okay, well, this is what happened, Jasmine. Okay, so I had a client and I was seeing him, and he said, you know what? He flew in from Vegas, and I was like, okay, let's see each other again tomorrow. It was like a Friday that day. And then he's like, oh, it's Saturday. I'm going to see a porn star. And he's like, I can't see you. I'm going to see a porn star. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, who are you going to see? And he gave me some name. And I was like, so you're not going to see me tomorrow? He's like, no, I'm going to see this porn star. And he was all excited. So I was like, whatever. So I looked her up because I was being nosy, and she charged like double or triple what I charged him. She did bareback blowjob, which I did not. She did everything like she did nothing. And I was like doing everything for like half or triple less than she did. So I got so pissed and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do some porn. I'm going to throw a few titles under my belt, under my name, and I'm going to charge all this friggin' money. And, so it was kind of like a business move. And then when I got into it, I had so much fun, as you know, that I was like, all right, I'm just going to hang out here and ride it out, literally and figuratively. So I just had so much fun in it. And then I reaped so many rewards from it, from the being in the adult entertainment, in the adult porn business. I had a better clientele of clients. And I just had so much fun. I met great friends, great parties, great sex, great times. So that's what happened.
Yeah, it was fun back then too. I think we're dealing with an era where we had a fun avian, we had the fun shows, we had the glam and glitz. And what do you think were your more favorite moments back then during I would say like the golden-ish era?
Well, I would say that I really enjoyed doing Gonzo. I enjoyed going to set and just fucking, like now, which is fun too, but there's a lot of like dialogue and a lot of lines, and it's yeah, it was just, and then I don't know, like back then it was just a wild party for me. It was just fun.
Who did you work for back then? Like that I might remember. Like who's your favorite director or three favorite directors?
Okay, I loved Devil's production. I always
Okay.
had fun with them. I loved Devil's Films. That was my favorite. I love Jason. I love oh God, what's his name? Mike something. Mike. He loved big boobs. Mike Kovac or Kurvac. I don't remember. But uh what's his name? Skeeter. I loved
Oh,
him.
okay.
Yeah, I loved them all. Back then it was like wild and intense. Yeah. Who did you like working for? You worked for bigger companies like Vivid and
Nope, I don't do Vivid. I started off like, see, when I read very little about my guests because I like to just know them. Like, let's say I ran into you at the store or
yeah,
whatever. Okay, so when I walked into the business, I had no idea that I was going to be like, I worked for John T-Bone at Metro Home Video, and he was,
okay, Metro,
I was
yes,
doing, yeah, I was doing porn in the era of shop culture. That's
yes,
how I was born and I was bred. This Jasmin thing was from that era that created it in a way. He made me into the world's a very infamous porn star without doing one porn film because I kept talking about that stupid gangbang. Right. Which was funny, by the way. Then the first scene I ever did was a DP scene with these knuckleheads. That you always call the male performers knuckleheads. And I didn't think you had to like suck them and try to help them get hard sometimes off camera. And I wasn't doing that. I'm like, go get yourself fucking hard. Don't tell me to get you hard. I had nail appointments. I had dates with real people from real life.
yeah.
I just moved to California, So I think like I liked working for John T-Bone at first, but I'll say my favorite person was Rob Black because we did the most outrageous porn. My favorite movie would be one called Acid Sex because I was fucking myself with a crucifix. And Tom
Love it.
Byron was fun to have sex with back then.
I love it. It's good for you.
It
You know,
was cute.
I'm like totally starstruck because I loved you since I saw you on Howard Stern. And yes, no, don't laugh or be embarrassed. It was awesome. And ever since then, I was so drawn to you. And then you did that gangbang, and I was like, oh my God, that's my girl. And I was just like so enamored. I loved it.
Thank you. I hope you
Yes.
just don't do a gangbang.
You know what? I've done gangbangs, but not the like a 300 or more man gangbang. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
get like
What didn't you like about it? Why did you say that?
oh,
Don't.
well, because I kept talking about it and I didn't think it was really going to happen. That's
Yeah.
why I think it's the reality of it. And a lot of those guys look like they got out of the county jail and not like hot guys. Hot
Yeah.
guys are usually locked up in the penitentiary, like in Maximum security and shit. You had some guys that looked like they're from an asylum.
Yeah.
And I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, I hope they get into a fight or something, or like maybe it'll be an earthquake or something like that will happen, and then poof. I mean, I wasn't the most pleasant person to be around that day, but I didn't really do all the work. You had fluffers there.
Yeah.
The fluffers were hot. Like they got $500 a day, like for the whole day. One of them said she was buying baby diapers and a color TV. They were interesting. I've seen a couple of the guys to this day, like here and again at wrestling shows. They put on weight and shit, man. Like they weren't cute anymore. It was really sad. But yeah, it was a fun time. Would I do it again? Not now, but yeah, I would have done another. I don't think I would. I think I just did it and that's it. Then I went on to other things, but it was
that's
cute.
okay. Yeah, that's
it was
like
fun.
Epic. Yeah, that's great.
What was your first scene like, and who was it with?
Okay, my first scene, I think, I can't recall if it was with Brittany Starr in Vegas. This Brittany Starr, she got her husband at the time and his friend, and they DP'd me, and they I was like in hog heaven. I loved it. I had a great time, and she's so funny. She pulled me aside and she's like, my husband's dick is small. You can handle 2 dicks in your calls. I'm like, okay. I was just like, all right, whatever. And it was a great scene. It was a long day. It was, because I didn't know better, so she was getting her money's worth with all my craziness and doing everything right out of the gate. So I think that was my first scene, and then I did for Evil Angel. Filthy First Timers. So I'm not sure which one was my first scene. I can't remember what Mr. Chris. I don't know if you know him, but yeah, it was. He's like a thin guy with long hair. Well, anyway, we had fun, and it was a really good time, and he was just blown away because I could not stop talking shit. I was just like, and I was so into it. He was just like, oh my God, this is your first time. But, like I said, I've always been in the sex industry since I was 18, and I got into porn late, like 28 years old. So I had 10 years under my belt of experimenting and doing crazy stuff without cameras. And then, so when I entered porn, I was like, this is a piece of cake. This is like my jam right here, and I loved the camera. I had fun. So yeah, that was it.
That is so wild. I've never met a person that did escorting first and porn that actually became a big name, such as yourself.
Well, thank you.
And so you are, and it's like, so you're so passionate about it, which is super important. What's your ethnic background?
I'm Chinese and Italian.
Do your parents know, or did your family ever find out?
My mother did. My father did not. He passed away. So that's okay. No, yeah, he was like 83 when he passed away. But yeah, my mom knew, I mean, we were like best friends. So I tell her everything, and, she just wants me to be safe, and safe and healthy, so but she said, if you're having fun and you're safe and healthy, then go for it. And yeah, so it's been fun. Did your parents know?
My dad passed away before.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think like it's the worst thing when a parent passes away. It's the worst thing that could actually happen to a child, even like no matter how many years go by. No one really understands.
Yes.
My mom, she kind of knows, but we don't talk about it. She knows I did a bunch of mainstream work, and a couple of times I was topless. One of my cousins said something.
And, of course, it's always one of
he's not allowed to any parties. He's not allowed anywhere. Like if I see him, I'm going to smash his knuckles.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I know where he lives. Maybe I don't know if I'll really smash them. Maybe not. But it's like, what were you doing watching the movie?
Yes, exactly.
Tell me what you were doing, you little bitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we don't talk about it. She just talks to me about the weather, what I'm doing. She likes the fact that I'm doing wrestling again. She doesn't know I have a podcast. My cousins know I have a podcast, though. My one cool cousin who like saw me on Jerry Springer and ratted me out. But yet it's like she talks to me still. Yeah, they're like hypocrites, right? Family.
Yeah, they can be. They can be. Or, I feel like they just don't understand, and they're just like kind of freaked out or kind of like it's kind of like a car crash. They're like don't want to look, but they can't stop looking, it's like kind of like that.
Now
Yeah.
you were going to AVN Awards back in the day. When I say
Yes.
back in the day, I mean like when they were actual award shows and fun. Have you
Yeah.
been to any recently? And what do you think is the big difference?
No, I have not been to any recently. Well, I do know back in the day when I used to go like in 2003, 2004, around that era, it was a huge deal. Like we'd get dressed to the nines. I mean, beaded, sparkly rhinestone dresses, like without thousands of dollars, and hair and makeup and the choker, the rhinestone choker, and like that. Now I don't really know, but I will see pictures, and I think it's a little bit more casual, which I feel kind of is the generation now that I don't think they're I see they're much more casually dressed,
Yeah,
like
I see that.
yeah, yeah, like I'll see
That's
people
disappointing.
at the grocery store in their pajamas, like like I was taught never leave your house without hair and makeup.
Well, yeah, like you go out. I was just at the T-Mobile store, and this woman had her she was probably around my age, and she had her handbag, hair up in whatever it
Yeah.
was, and her sweats and open toe flat sandals that were slippers probably. I'm like, I just went in there to pick something up. I'm like, no wonder you're alone on a Friday night, bitch. I'm saying that to myself. But it's so disgusting, and it's just a different generation. I don't know where it gets better, like where there'll ever be that type of hope for uh rebooming back to glam and everything. Like women were at their height of looking really good 60s,
Polished.
70s, 80s, 90s,
Yes.
early 2000s, you know?
Yeah.
Now
Very
it's like,
polished.
oh, yeah, exactly. Just take me the way I am. No.
Yes. Yes. I know but also I have to say I love glamming up. I'm very girly. I love dressing up. I love putting on makeup. I love all that. Like that's fun to me. And I'm not doing it because I'm so insecure or like I need acceptance. I do it because I love it, and so on one hand I feel it's like, oh, that's a shame that you're going to the strip club working there with a bun in your hair and your flip-flops on, or the grocery store, but then I guess it's like if you're that comfortable in your own skin, I guess more power to you, right?
Yeah, I like getting dolled up and
I
dressed
love
up
getting
and
all
things.
that. Yeah,
It's fun,
it's like putting effort. I'm healthy, like when I'm sick, then I don't want to put anything on. I want to chill out. But when I'm healthy, I'm like I have fun. I just enjoy it.
Now, how much time out of the day do you feel you actually not the word contribute, but you actually have to put into the new ways of making money, like online, such as you have an
Yeah.
OnlyFans, like how do you
Yes.
feel like you take too much time? Is there like a way you organize it so you only spend X amount of hours before you go do things?
You know what? I will have to say I am hooked on my phone 24/7. It's kind of embarrassing and annoying for other people to be conversing with me because I'm constantly like, oh yeah, talking and texting and doing all these things. And I feel bad, but I mean, it's kind of that's social media that I mean, we have all these well, I'll speak for myself. I have all these platforms I'm on that I have to, I get a DM from loyal fans, I get a DM from OnlyFans, I get a Sex Panther, and I want to like be there and I enjoy it. And then you got to post, you got to make sure you're relevant and present on social media. So it's like you got to take care of that. So it's like I'm constantly on my phone doing something. So yes, I'm very engaged in my phone.
Wow, that's why I failed on OnlyFans. Like I have an OnlyFans, but it has um just photos that I own the rights to on there,
Yes.
like
Okay.
bikini and beach. But I have to say, like, I couldn't do this. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to go
hard.
to the gym. I want to go to Pilates. I want to do this. I can't, guys. I ride motorcycles, so I can't, like, I just can't. I gotta go. Like, it's my brain.
That's hot, biker chick. But you know what? I feel that I've kind of like my fans are so generous and kind that they understand I'm at the gym, and I may even say that, or just I'll leave it. I'll just leave my platforms alone for a little bit, and they're cool with waiting, you know, because they're there for us. And so it's like if I have to go on a run, or not a run, but like wherever, take a break or go to a movie or whatever, and I don't look at my phone, which it's very hard to. They understand, you know, and I don't know. That's why I do love like connecting. I'm addicted, I think, to connecting with them, because it's like they're so empathetic and sympathetic and understanding. It's just like they're like my friends, you know. It's like and I need that camaraderie at all times.
I totally get it. I think
Yeah.
it's cute. I know, like, I know like a couple of people personally who are on my OnlyFans. One of them comes to all the wrestling shows. The other one I speak to now and again. He's in Florida. He knows who he is, and he's going to be listening to this. He's
Good.
he's cute too. Like, I'd probably meet him for a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's okay. That's cool.
Yeah, that's it.
He'd be thrilled.
Well, if he's nice, he can come with me to the infusion bar and get IV infusions with me with vitamins. And that's it.
sweet. Yes.
Well,
No drugging.
Huh? No. No.
Yeah, that's good. That's sweet. Yeah. See, and like I love conversing and having a connection with all the fans.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, because I see all your photos, and my favorite one obviously is the one in the cowboy hat and the Daisy.
I know you love that. That was at Nelson Landing. Yeah, in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, because I went out and bought cowboy boots like later that day. They're like black with white. They're really tall. And I started wearing them with Daisy Dukes now when I go outside. I thought of you. I'm like, oh yeah, this is Ava's outfit.
Yes. Oh God, we should do a photo shoot like that.
That I would do. Yeah. Who's that girl? Annalie. She's in Vegas.
Oh,
I love Annalie. We should do a photo shoot for sure, because I would totally do content like that. That's cute.
Oh, well, okay. Hit me up, girl.
Sexy, see? But what do you do when you actually have time to breathe and away from, like, keeping busy and interacting with people? What do you do for yourself?
God, you know what? I'm like so hooked on my phone and answering all these platforms. It's hard. But you know, I mean, like recently I've been going to some movies. I'm kind of enjoying that. I'll hang out with family, friends. I love a good masturbation session, or a fuck session. I love, because I'm very sexual. I'm very aroused easily. I love that. But I have more dimensions to me than just sexual, than the sex side. So I do love, believe it or not, I'm in 12-step programs, and I love participating there in them, and enjoying the camaraderie there, the fellowship, the message, all that. So I have a full life.
That's interesting that you go into a 12-step, because I had an ex that was in 12-step, and I'm still in Al-Anon, by the way. I wasn't in the other side of it. I was on the other side.
Yes.
People who affected. Unfortunately, like, very unfortunate. He's been gone from my life for like 3 years now. But I would go to the meetings, right? And there's one meeting we went to, and this girl, like, when we saw her, she's like eyeballing me. He and I looked at each other like, he's like, she knows you guys. I said, I bet she was a stripper before, because I could tell something was up.
Yes.
There's that twinkle in your eye, right?
Oh, yes. And we have that connection.
Like, and she's like, well, she was. It was really interesting. And it was this whole thing. And then all the guys were like gaga. It was so funny. And the person before her who was introducing her, I saw her on Facebook, and I saw some of the stuff she's saying, and I thought it'd be real nice to have her here. I'm like, dude, don't lie. Just you wanted to fuck her. Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
It's so much easier than that, but you can't do that. Do people ever recognize you at your meetings?
They used to. I know people would come up to me in the many years ago, but now that I'm not touring or going to different cities, my home group is like really cool, and they don't say anything. Like when I go, say my real name. I don't go by Ava. And one gentleman was like, Ava, and I was like, oops, but no, but it's okay. He's total gentleman. He's so sweet. But so sometimes it'll slip out, but they usually don't call me out on it because it's an anonymous program. So, and like all that doesn't matter, like it even says so in the traditions, like it doesn't matter, or in the format, the preamble, it doesn't matter what you do or who you are. We're all here for the common bond. So
yeah, I learned one thing at Ellen on like the one meeting I went to. Guys go on there to pick up on women. Like, yeah, I mean, like you're there like the first day going, and obviously I give a totally different name. It's like I'm falling my eyeballs out because I had no one else to turn to because I couldn't tell anyone about the emotional abuse I was going through. I couldn't tell our friends. I couldn't tell my friends because what would they say? Get rid of it. You can't do that. You see? So like going there to strangers you don't think you'll ever see again in your life. The guy's like, he came up to me after the meeting. So Jasmin, I'm like, oh, suck my ass, bitch.
I know.
It's like, my name's not Jasmin, it's Angie, okay?
Yeah.
So,
well, some are sicker than others. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Some people are really sick, and
I'm as sick as they got, trust me. But
no, exactly. So am I, but some of them are sicker than we are.
He should have been maybe at sex. Hey, I bet the easiest place to get laid is like at a sexaholics meeting, like to wait outside after. I'd be a 13 stepper. I'd be a 13 stepper going there.
I get that. Yeah.
No, I would not do that. So fans want to find you and engage with you. And guys, don't forget, she's got things to do. She wants to keep up appearances as well. She's got to get her hair done, got to get the nails done, go shopping for makeup. You can always contribute and send tips for that as well.
We love being spoiled.
Yeah, we love being spoiled. Like send a gift card, Fashion Nova, perhaps something like that, right?
Anything,
yeah, anything. Where do they find you if they want to visit you?
Okay, well, I'll put up my full link. It's theavadevine.com. And they can, that has all my links, my social medias, my OnlyFans, theavadevine.com. So they can find, if they hit that link, they'll find everywhere I'm at.
And of course I will post it because guys love it. When I post it, they see it, they're like, yeah, but this is great. So guys, don't forget, always support people like Ava Devine, who's been around for a long time. And she has like given you guys pleasure in so many ways, more than one. And it's a pleasant person to speak to. And she's very coherent.
Yes, right.
Intelligent. Did you go to college for something? I swear you went to
school. No, I didn't. Really? No, I went to the school of hard knocks.
Nothing's wrong with that. And what's your ideal date? If someone asked you out, where's the ideal date for you?
Okay, the ideal date would be, you know what? I'd have to make them drop their pants because I want to see what they're working with, because I kind of am a size queen and I do enjoy a big dick, and I have to fuck before we go out to dinner because I love to deep throat and I don't want to vomit my food.
Well, hold on a second. What if it's McDonald's, the dinner?
Well, no, I don't eat sugar and flour, so we couldn't go there.
How about like Chick-fil-A?
You know what? I could probably get down with some Chick-fil-A. I think they have the unbreaded chicken pieces. I can get down. I mean, of course I love fine dining, but if the dick's that good, then Chick-fil-A it'll be.
Proves my point about some guys with big dicks or that are really handsome, cheap, or they could be a real dick face too.
Totally.
Any messages for your fans?
No, I just want to say that I love you all. I love you, Jasmin. I told you I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm a huge fan of all our fans because I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. And thank you for having me on your lovely show. And thank you, everyone, for being part of my life and all your love and support.